What is going on, YouTube people? There, Cards and Comics here. Well, I guess the WWE Topps Chrome box opening video gets delayed for another day. Because as have been the norm the last 2 weeks, the news keeps coming. This time, though, it was outside the hobby, but obviously has a direct impact on the sports card world. And that is one of the most shocking, surprising, and out of nowhere trades in sports history. Happened Saturday night into Sunday morning. I went to sleep right before the trade went down. I watched the Royal Rumble, laid down, went to sleep, woke up Sunday morning about 6:30, 7 a.m. Glanced at my phone, and I only have Twitter notifications on for a handful of people, and Shams is one of them. And I looked, and I was like, what? And I had to put my glasses on. I was like, wait, what happened? And then obviously played catch up on all the nonsense that went down. Listen, if you want to get out of the Luka business, we'll talk about card prices here in a second, but if you want to get out of the Luka business, fine, sure, whatever. Do I think that's the greatest place to be? Getting out of the Luka business? No, I wouldn't want to trade him. But if you do want to deal him, if you want out of the Luka business, the part that I don't understand is why you would only talk to one team. I get it. It seems like Nico just really wanted Anthony Davis. That's all well and good. But why wouldn't you talk to other teams to leverage more out of the Lakers? You only got one of their picks. You're trading Luka. That's the part that I don't. If I was a Mavs fan today or yesterday, I would be done. I would be done with the team for a while. I mean, I just don't know. And they're probably going to be pretty good, or at least good in the short to medium term. Like, they'll be fine. But I just don't know how you trade Luka and don't leverage the rest of the league. Even if you end up taking AD, you could get a little bit more from them. And God knows what some of these other teams would have offered. You don't know because you didn't talk to any of them. That's the part to me. That would be what frustrates the hell out of me if I was a Mavericks fan today. If you are or were a Mavs fan, feel free to fire off in the comments down below on this one. And like I said, I think this is by far and away the most shocking trade, at least since I've been alive in sports, that I can remember. Since I've been following sports, so since the, let's call it late 80s, early 90s, I can't think of one that honestly even comes close to this. There's like the Shaq deal, the Mookie Betts trade. What else has there been? Kyrie to the Celtics was pretty shocking, but I might be a little bit in my own feelings on that one as a Cavs fan. And there's a handful of others, but I mean, Luka was traded to the Lakers. I still can't wrap my mind around it. And I'm recording this Sunday evening pretty late. It's been almost a full 24 hours, and I still cannot wrap my mind around it. Let's take this from the card perspective of things. Luka prices have basically jumped about 50-ish% overnight. His silver prism was going for about $1,000. Market movers lags a little bit behind, so their last sale they have is $1,500. These things later in the day on Sunday have settled into between $1,600 and $1,700. So about what would that be? About like a 60%, 65% increase, depending on what you're looking at on his prices. Not terrible for a one night flip on his stuff. Base prism has also obviously jumped way up. I have charts running back because I just kind of wanted to show this. I want to have a little bit of a bigger conversation here. I have these running back to October 1st of 2023. So this is all of the 23-24 season and, you know, what we've seen so far of the 24 into 25 season. Now, obviously, there is a big peak there. That was the finals run. This thing got back up to $1,800, $1,800, and then very quickly came back down again. And I wanted to kind of blow this out for this exact reason. He got all the way to the NBA Finals, and it got to $1,800. He got traded to the Lakers. It's gonna go. Let's just call it $1,700. It might be a little bit less than that, but let's just call it $1,700. probably closer to 16 when things settle. If you own Luka cards and you're not a collector and you were looking for an off ramp to cash those out, you should have sold them already. Like this 24 to 48 hour period, this is your window. If you got stuff you want to move, now's your chance. Like this is what you have been waiting for. If you missed the window at the finals, this is your next one. This is, in my opinion, the ultimate they let you buy them back situation. Because here's the thing. Luka on the Lakers is going to have a ton of hype. Yes. Hot take, that's not that hot. The Lakers probably aren't going to be that good this year. Obviously, they probably have moves pending still. They'll probably bring in a center, some other ancillary parts. But as it stands right now, Luka's still out for another month. The Lakers are like in 5th place. And now they don't have AD. They're not going to get Luka back till probably the end of February. And spoilers, their defense was barely adequate with Anthony Davis. And now he's gone. Now, like I said, we'll see what they do over the next 3-4 days leading up to the NBA trade deadline. But their defense is going to be god-awful. LeBron has been exceptionally healthy so far this year. Luka, who knows what happens? The guy is injury prone. That's probably a big part of the reason why the Mavs moved off of him. This is a long way of me saying they're not making the NBA Finals this year. They might not make it out of the NBA first round this year. And then they'll have to go through the offseason and see what they could shuffle the deck chairs around a little bit. And then, we'll head into next season and see what happens. So we've seen this time and time again. Something happens, whether it's, going to the finals, a trade, a change in teams, free agent, whatever. Sends players' prices to the moon for a short period of time, and they are going to come back down again. Now, are they going to come back down to $1,000? Probably not. It'll settle in a little bit lower than where they're at right now, but a little bit higher than what they were before. Maybe let's call it 1,500, 1,400. I don't know. I don't have my magic 8-ball next to me. I don't know. But we've seen this play out a billion times. I don't care who the player is. It shoots up, it overshoots, it corrects, and it levels off at its new floor. And then guess what? It's probably going to slowly downtick from there because they're not making the finals. If you want to buy back in the Luka, you could probably sell now. If you had a silver prism that you got for around $1,000 last week, I'd be selling that thing as fast as possible for $1,700. And then if you want, you could buy it back in a few months for probably $1,200 or $1,300 and make yourself a couple $100 on the whole transaction, or just get out of the Luka business entirely. That is typically how this stuff goes. I don't see this being any different. If the Lakers were an immediate title team, maybe you could sell me on holding on to them, but I just don't think that's the case. I really don't. So this is only if you have Luka that you want to sell. I think this in the short to medium term is your best chance to move off his stuff. I own one air quote real Luka card, as in, kind of expensive Luka Blue Mosaic. I'm not interested in selling it. It's going to sit in my case. I bought that card because I wanted to own it. Still color matched to his rookie jersey, but it's not purple and yellow. So, but the card is still aesthetically pleasing to me. That is the trick with the color matches. The card still looks good even if the player got traded, because it is a color match to the jersey that he is in the photo. It is a good looking card because in the photo he is still wearing a Mavericks jersey. And I made this joke on Twitter yesterday. Is it too soon to start pumping the 2025 Topps Chrome Laker rookie Luka card that everyone's gonna put in their eBay listings when 2025 Topps Chrome basketball comes out? I just want to make sure I'm on the same page with all the other influencers. I missed the meeting this weekend because of all the stuff going on. So if someone could send me the minutes from that so I could get caught up. I didn't know if we're pumping that now or if we're waiting till we see like a preview image from it later this summer. But that's going to be a thing. Topps is salivating. There was someone, I forget who made the joke. I would give credit if I remembered. Someone made the joke of, I'm not believing the trade until I see the Topps Now card. Unfortunately, I don't think there will be a Topps Now card for this. They don't have a license for Luka until everything switches over. But that is where we currently sit, and that is kind of where I would be at with this myself personally. But it just depends on what you're doing. And if you're a Lakers fan and you're like, oh my God, let me get myself some Luka action. I need it in my life right now. My advice to you would be try not to FOMO, and can you just wait like a day, in all honesty, or do you have to have it right now, or can you wait? If you could wait just a couple of weeks, you'll probably end off a lot better than where you're going to be at right now. But what the hell do I know? We'll see how that plays out. I have not looked to see if LeBron cards got a bump or not. I could glance at that real quick. It looks like he got a slight bump. I was pulling that up off screen. So January 30th, this got binned for $5K. On February 2nd, that got binned for $4,600. And I'm just looking at PSA 10 Topps Chromes. That's what they were going for prior. Maybe a little bit. There's 4K. Those are best offers. I don't know if that was binned or accepted. That one was a bin. It doesn't look like much moved. Prior to this, what were they going for as I do this on the fly? 4.4K on 127, and Market Movers has that as a 5K sale on 130. So, and even prior to that, they were in the high fours. So maybe it got a little bump up, but I don't even know if you could directly attribute that to the Luka trade or not. Because once again, I don't see a path for the Lakers being real good this year. It's not a complete team. Maybe that changes by the end of the week and I'm eating these words, but they seem like a first round and out team. Maybe a second round team. Because that's the other thing. We don't even know how they're going to play together. They're going to have to figure that out. A lot of variables on this one, at least in the very, very short term. I was curious. None is really sold yet, but just to kind of give you a snapshot. Sealed wax. I'll be curious to see if that takes a bump up. Usually that lags behind a little bit more than singles. So like right now, a 2018 Prism Hobby Box is going for just under 4K. Obviously not a ton of those floating around out there still. We'll see if those see any movement, but we'll have to see what that looks like come like the weekly sports card market update next week or something. So Luka's gone. He is a Laker. Crazy times. I saw the tinfoil hat brigade was already all conspiracy theory up on why this trade went down and why it didn't. I'll be curious to kind of listen to. I already listened to a couple podcasts today, but my Monday, I've got about an hour and a half drive for work tomorrow, so I will have a lot of NBA podcasts to listen into. My Cavs played the Mavericks today and smoked them as they rested pretty much everybody. But I actually, like I said, short term, actually the Mavericks are probably going to be pretty okay. Kyrie, AD, Washington, Clay, Derek Lively's out for most of the regular season, and then we'll see if they make any other moves. But that team's actually probably going to be okay. Like it's not like they're going to zero or anything. It's just a bad trade because Luka's, I think, 25 years old, and you're trading him for AD, who's going to be 32. And they're both injury prone. It's like, I get it. Like Luka has calf strains every other day of the week, but every time Anthony Davis falls to the ground and you have him in a same game parlay, you're holding your breath because he's out for a week and a half. He's been better about that the last year or two, but still. Curious to see how this all plays out. Man, NBA is wild, and it's the trade deadline this week, so we'll see what else pops up if De'Aaron Fox goes to the Spurs, if Jimmy Butler ends up going anywhere, and apparently anything is on. If Luka can be traded, anything is on the table. Will LeBron not like this and want out of there? I doubt that, but hey, if Luka can get traded, anything is on the table. So curious for your thoughts and comments about Luka's prices, the trade itself, and what you see happening this week for the trade deadline. That is all I got for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.